What's up, tribe? This is your weekend roundup, and it is full of sad shit. Um, First, I want to definitely send condolences to the family of John McCain. Um, Earlier this week, I want to say it was like Thursday or Friday, we found out that he no longer wanted to be treated, and so we knew then that that's pretty much code word for they're just going to be, he's going to be in hospice. And they were just gonna make him comfortable, and we knew it was imminent. I didn't know he was that close. I mean, we found out that he was no longer going to get treatment, and then next thing you know, like literally the next day, the family announced that he had passed. So he was a fighter to the end. What that tells me is that he fought to the end. That's what that tells me. Like, he didn't stop getting treatment, and then a year later, he fought until the very end. But unfortunately, when he announced his condition and he announced, you knew that it was going to be a long road, and you knew that it probably wasn't going to be good. But when somebody has money and the best health care, you figure, okay, maybe they'll be able to stretch this thing out a little bit. Which they did. I mean, he was diagnosed a year ago, I believe. Maybe a little bit longer. Something that has been irritating me, if any of you are my Facebook friends, then you know what I put on my Facebook. I've had a lot of people, most people, let me say this, most people are very gracious and are being very gracious to John McCain. But I did have a few people, assholes I'll call them, who chose to bring up all the things that John McCain didn't do. And y'all, don't forget that he voted against the Martin Luther King holiday. Don't forget he supported war. Don't forget that, he voted to go, he voted to go to Iraq, and like all of the things that he did. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, John McCain was still a Republican. I am not a Republican. I do not share Republican views. So the reality of the situation is we probably don't agree on most things politically, period. I remember the whole controversy of John McCain not in Arizona voting against the Martin Luther King holiday and I remember that. I remember John McCain not being the most PC person. A lot of times they said John McCain was an asshole on Capitol Hill, and he was a bulldozer. You know what I mean? Like, when he wanted something done, he was a bulldozer. But I ain't mad about that. The problem is a lot of times he wasn't necessarily fighting for things that I wanted. But what's wrong with him fighting for what he believed in? This is a man who grew up privileged. He grew up in a time period in the 50s and the 60s. He grew up very privileged. His family was wealthy, very military honored. Like, John McCain's father was an admiral, something like that. I don't know ranks, but he was a very high rank. And he could have very easily in Vietnam got a real nice cushy desk job because he was connected. But he chose to be a fighter pilot. And that was part of the reason why he was treated the way he was treated when the Viet Cong found out who they had and how he was connected. That's part of the reason why he was treated the way he was treated and held on as long as he was held. When they went to him and said, look, we'll let you go early. You just got to say, you just got to make this little video and we'll let you go. John McCain said, let everybody go. Let all my men go. So he chose to stay longer than he had to in a situation he didn't have to be in to try to protect his men. Was he perfect? Absolutely not. I think him voting against the Martin Luther King holiday was a horrible decision. But it's also a decision that he apologized for, and he said he was wrong. Ronald, Ronald, anyway, it wasn't a Republican thing. It just wasn't. So I respect John McCain. I think that John McCain evolved and changed as we all hope to do. I really wouldn't want somebody to take some words or some things that I said in my 20s and hold it against me at my age now. I really wouldn't hope. Hell, 5 years ago, to be honest with you, so I might have said some stuff 5 years ago and I don't want nobody held against me. I remember when John McCain was running for president against President Obama, and I thought the world would end if John McCain won. I thought it would be such a horrible thing. Whew. Compared to where we are now, I'll take John McCain, even though he did pick crazy, dumbass Sarah Palin. But that's a whole nother conversation. So rest in peace John McCain, all of the accolades, all of the well wishes, all of the wonderful words that are being spoken about you are well deserved. I ain't always agree with his politics. However, I believe that he was a great person. Like, I mean, from what I know, I don't think he was I don't always agree with some of the decisions he made and some of the things he did in his private, his private life and his public life. There's some things with his first wife. I don't know. But anyway. I just don't think we should find the worst thing about somebody when they die and let that be what we focus on. Anyway, the other thing is there was just a mass shooting this morning. I do not know all the details. It was in Jacksonville, Florida, at some sort of gaming facility. They were having a tournament or something, from my understanding, and there are at least 4 casualties. There are, as of right now, I heard 4 casualties and 11 people are injured. The numbers absolutely could go up. I'm so fucking sick of talking about mass shootings. I'm so sick of people not valuing life. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why we do not value life in this country. I just don't. I don't understand it. And I'm not going to dwell on it. I could do this I could do a whole video on that. So, but I just want to send, my condolences to those families. If anybody that, that's watching knows anybody there or lives in that area, I just pray for you and your family, and pray, for the families of those that are shot. I hope that those victims link up with the victims from the Parkland shooting. They are doing some great things. I just saw them on the Daily Show last week, and they are still out here working. They are still out here doing some great things. They went up to Chicago and met with people in Chicago to talk about gun violence, and met with the local grassroots organizations that are trying to do some things in the Chicago area to try to curb the violence. So they are still out here working. They are still out here doing and being advocates, and nobody wants to be a victim. Nobody wants to have to deal with such a brutal situation, but I respect anybody who takes lemons and turns it into lemonade, and that may be a crass comparison, but that's just the first thing I could think of at that moment. But again, I just send my condolences and my prayers, and just continuing to work in the organizations that I work in and work in the places that I work to try to, I work in a school building. So whenever we start talking about school shootings, that's some real shit. Point blank, period. That's just some real shit. All right, so let's talk a little bit about let's be silly for a minute. It ain't silly. This ain't silly. I'll end with silly so we can end with a laugh. Aretha Franklin's funeral is set for the most part. We understand there are some great performers that are on the slate. The people you would expect that would be there. Stevie Wonder, Shaka Khan, Ron Isley, Jennifer Hudson. I believe Fantasia, but if I'm wrong, y'all, I'm sure y'all will correct me. And so a few other names, Yolanda Adams, and a few other names are up there. I think that what I'm told is, going back to John McCain, y'all. John McCain said that he wants President Obama and President George W. Bush to give his eulogy. So I find that, again, class and grace. And I think that I look forward to hearing those words and hearing what they will speak and how they will handle that. So, again, John McCain had already let people know certain things he wanted at his homegoing. But Aretha, on the other hand, she left no will. Now, when I first heard that she didn't leave a will, I put some on my Facebook about people not leaving wills, and that's crazy. I was like, I don't have no money and I got a will. You know what I mean? But the more and more I'm hearing, the more and more I'm thinking maybe it was done on purpose, because she has... It's been known for years that Aretha Franklin has had money issues. I think she was borderline bankruptcy a few times, or I think a few people helped. Some of her friends came and helped her out with bills at one point in time. I believe hearing these stories for years. So when she passed away and they said she had an estimated estate worth $80 million, in my mind I was like, where? And I meant no disrespect, but I was like, $80 million, but I heard that she was bankrupt or about to be bankrupt or, whatever. Now, I don't know if in the last few years she's done made some great business decisions, or maybe she's got a hold of some of her music catalog that she didn't have in the past. Like, because y'all know a lot of performers, especially going back to the 50s and the 60s and 70s, they got ganked for their music. And a lot of them in these maybe past 20 years, a lot of them have been able to sue or been able to make some moves to get their catalogs or to get access to the catalogs to be able to make money off of them. And because Aretha Franklin is a writer and a performer, not just a singer, maybe she's been able to get some money off of that. And I was thinking maybe that's what happened. I didn't know, because I was like, $80 million? Where did she start making $80 million? But I appreciate it. But then come to find out, she has a lot of debt as well. And her debt may even exceed the estate. So maybe she was advised to not have a will. I don't know. But it sounds like her niece is going to be the executor of the estate, and they're in the process of unraveling all of her debt and all of her business, and figuring out who will get what. Because I guess in the state of Michigan, it just automatically goes to next of kin, which would be her 4 sons. So we'll see, but looking forward to seeing that funeral. We watched Whitney. I know I watched Whitney's funeral. I watched Michael Jackson's funeral. I had to do it in doses. I couldn't do it like for just 5-6 hours straight, but I did watch a lot of the performances and what was said. So I look forward to that. It's unfortunate, but like I told y'all last week, she worked hard. She did well. Alright, I don't know if y'all saw it now. I don't know if y'all saw this video. Last night, Beyonce had her show in Atlanta, Georgia. And at the end of the show, from my understanding, that was the end of the show. Beyonce and Jay-Z were walking off stage. Some little white boy got up on stage, ran and was running after Beyonce and Jay-Z. Now, first and foremost, where the fuck was security? How he get on stage? They've been doing this concert every night for like the last 3 months. How he get on stage? 2, he ran to the point where the dancers, I think everybody was in shock at first, but then the dancers responded, and then it looked like the dancers was whooping his ass. Now, I rewound it a few times, and I looked, and what it looks like is that the dancers at first were trying to stop him, and then he swung, or looked like he was going to swing, and so they swung, and it was a melee, and then security had to come out and break it up, and it was a mess. I give all the respect to her dancers, because her dancers like, oh, what you not going to do? What you not going to do is run up on Beyonce and Jay-Z. However, I feel like had he made it to Beyonce and Jay-Z, I feel like that would have been the worst day of his life. I feel like what he got on that stage from them dancers was probably light compared to what he would have gotten or could have gotten had he actually made it to Bay and Jay. But it was well, I guess it wasn't funny for him. It was funny for me, because I was like, look at these. They ain't playing with this boy. But I just want to know how the fuck he even got up on stage. And however he did it, they better put that in check. Because y'all know that from now on, everybody and their cousin going to be trying to get up on. That's however he was able to get access. Everybody going to try it from now on. So whatever he did, however he did it, they better. And I'm like, it happened so quick. Like, I'm like, how did he get up there? Anyway, last but not least, y'all. I think this is going to be the last time I'm talking about Nikki Minaj, unless something really, again, crazy happens. It's been talked about to death, but Nikki Minaj I'm just going to talk about her canceling the tour. I'm not going to get into the Travis Scott shit. I'm not going to get into none of that. It's been done. It's been dead. Her Queen Radio, her giving asshole of the day. Now, my thing was, I thought she was going to give it to Charlamagne, because Charlamagne gave her donkey of the day. No, she gives it to Travis Scott. Why are you mad at Travis Scott for doing the same thing all of y'all are doing? All of y'all are selling those bundles where if you buy this, you get a copy of the digital album. They've been doing that. And you do the same thing, Nikki. You can go to Nikki's website right now, buy merchandise, and get a copy of Queen. So why you mad at Travis Scott? Because his girlfriend has more followers and was able to get to more people, and she was able to tweet it out. Like, you can't be mad at her for that. You can't be mad at him for using his resources and putting out there to whoever will listen. You can't be mad about that. And then they said that Drake was on stage congratulating Travis Scott on him having the #1 album. Y'all know how Nikki is. Y'all know how she feel about loyalty. Next thing you know, she gonna be dissing Drake. Watch. They already fell out once with that whole Meek Mill shit. Watch. She gonna be dissing Drake. Watch what I tell you. So she canceled her tour. Now she's saying that she canceled her tour because with them having to push the album back, she hasn't had time to properly prepare for a full show. Okay. I can respect that being a reason. That is a legitimate reason to say, you know what? I need to push these dates back because I thought I was going to be able to start my tour on this day, but due to situations out of my control, I am not ready. However, the reason why Queen was being pushed back, I ain't going to get into all that because I don't know all the reasons, but you couldn't be preparing for a tour and finishing up your album at the same time. Because, I mean, they pushed Queen back like 2 or 3 times. You didn't allow any time for rehearsal for the tour. I mean, when did you start rehearsing? You couldn't start rehearsing until after the album dropped. Like, I don't understand. You can't multitask. You had time to be on Twitter cussing people out. You had time to be on radio shows cussing people out. You ain't had time to be at a dance studio rehearsing, putting some shit together. They hire people to put half the shows together. All you got to do is learn the damn choreography. And you don't do that much dancing. So I'm just trying to figure out. I know it takes a lot to put those shows together. So I'm not going to say that that's not a legitimate reason. I'm just saying why you ain't been rehearsing. That's what I want to know. Why you just going to start rehearsing now? You could have been rehearsing 6 months ago. Anyway. Quiet as it's kept, though, the real reason, supposedly, allegedly, the real reason why they pushing the tour back is because ain't nobody buying the tickets. What's that about, Barbs? I mean, Barbs, what's that about? Y'all ain't got no money for the tickets. Y'all knew a tour was coming. You knew the album was coming for a year. You knew the tour was coming. Anyway, so supposedly the ticket sales were so slow that rather than her start her tour in these big ass arenas and only have a couple of thousand people in an arena that holds 20,000 people, they're going to reschedule the American leg of the tour, and she's still going to go over to Europe because remember her album was popping in Europe. I think she was #1 in 80-something countries, so she'd let us know. But then she's going to do the American leg of the tour next spring, and Future will not be on that part of the tour. We will see. It'll be interesting. I bet you they'll reschedule some of those venues instead of her playing like, these big arenas. She's gonna probably be playing some smaller venues. Watch what I tell you. Because you can't make nobody buy your tickets. But what you can do is reschedule some of those rooms so that it don't look crazy. You can, instead of playing like around here, we have Capital One Arena. It used to be Verizon Center. It used to be MCI Center. But anyway, that's where all the concerts come through here. So instead of playing there, you could play somewhere, maybe Constitution Hall, which is another concert venue that people go to that may not necessarily sell out Capital One Arena by themselves. But it's still a nice venue. It's still plenty of seats. But I bet you they start rescheduling some of them shows to places like that. Anyway, y'all let me know. Y'all tell me what y'all think about what this is going on. Let me know about what y'all think. Why y'all think Nikki canceled her tour? Why y'all think she did it? Anyway, let me get ready for these Sunday night shenanigans, y'all. I'm about to eat my dinner, and then I'll be back for Basketball Wives and what else come on tonight? Because Potomac is gone. It's Basketball Wives. Something else come on tonight, but I'll be back for it. Peace.